Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone watching this video. The prevalent kidnapping cases in Malaysia appear to have no end, and the government's efforts still seem to have no effect because there are still unsolved cases of child abduction. Hi, I'm Amali Sofia, and today I'm going to deliver a speech about kidnap cases in Malaysia. Let's begin with one of the well-known kidnap cases happened in Malaysia, the kidnap case of Nurin Jazin Jazimin. This case happened 15 years ago, which is on 2007. Nurin Jazin gone missing after leaving home to visit a night market near her house in hopes of buying her favorite hair clip. What was meant to be a short trip for the little cherub quickly escalated into a national nightmare when she failed to come back home that night. Nurin Jazin's body was found in a very horrible condition in a sports bag by a supervisor of a book distributing company in Petaling Jaya. A post-mortem examination revealed that the girl had bruises on her neck and injuries all around her body. Worse, the coroner discovered a cucumber and brine gel inside the victim's genitals. Nurin's violent torture and death sparked an uproar that swept throughout the entire nation. There was an immediate full-scale hunt to find who was responsible for the child's murder. In an attempt to find justice for Nurin, some even wanted to charge her parents for negligence, saying it was their own carelessness that resulted in the victim's abduction and murder. The heartbreaking stories of her disappearance, torture and murder serve as a chilling warning to parents and guardians to always protect their children. This incident did not come to a conclusion when the investigation was closed before Malaysian police were able to apprehend the abductor. This is one of the incidents of kidnapping that resulted in death. As we can observe here, most kidnap cases happen in Malaysia are related to pedophilia, and seriously as a society, we must fix this. Talking about pedophilia, what does it mean by pedophilia? Pedophilia is a mental illness characterized by an adult or older adolescent's primary or exclusive sexual attraction to prepubescent youngsters. Although girls normally begin puberty at the age of 10 or 11 and boys at the age of 11 or 12, pedophilia requirements stretch the cut-off point for prepubescent to the age of 13. To be diagnosed with pedophilia, a person must be at least 16 years old and at least 5 years older than the prepubescent kids. Moving on to the following point, tortures of abducted children. The family members of the kidnapped victim are traumatized by this child abduction incident, especially when the victim's family members were informed of the cruelty inflicted on their children after their autopsy session. Imagine as parents who raise their children finding out their children being abused, raped, murdered, tortured, and starved to death for days is something terrifying for them. The issue had to do with pedophiles who are still underestimated by the local community. In this situation, the child's human rights should be protected and justice should be served. Besides, the abduction of the kids cannot be traced to the cause either because animosity, hatred, parental negligence, or maybe ordinary unlawful activism. Now, what about another kidnap cases happened in 2012? Nurul Nadira, affectionately known by her family as Dirang, went to a Sunrise store for the instant noodles and eggs her mother had requested her to buy. Imagine a 5-year-old young girl went to a shop alone. The mother never thought that it was the last time her family saw her alive. Well, after a few hours, her mother went to the Sunrise shop to find Dirang after she didn't show up for more than an hour. But surprisingly, the shopkeeper informed her that the girl had departed shortly after purchasing the things. A week later, police found a child's charred body in a hole at the plantation 1 week after Dirang disappeared. A piece of burnt cloth found coiled around her neck was also found belonged to Muhyiddin, the main suspect for this case. Dirang was identified during an autopsy, and in June 2013, the accused, who had played innocent, was found guilty of killing Dirang and sentenced to death. Here, I would like to point out the awareness of children's rights in Malaysia. As you can obviously see, there are still kidnap cases until these days. Despite the fact that the numbers are decreasing, everyone should always be aware of kidnappings that result in murder, child trafficking, organs trafficking, or pedophilic abuse against minors in order to avoid future kidnappings. Children are regarded as God's precious gifts. It is weird and unfortunate that these same children are being abused and neglected. Childhood is universally acknowledged as a sensitive phase, requiring extra care, attention, and protection. As a result, children should be aware of their rights. Plus, children's knowledge of their rights is dependent on the exposure they get from adults. It is the adults' job to teach youngsters about their rights. Let me end my speech by saying thank you for listening to my speech. Hopefully, my speech will provide you with important knowledge. Bye!